Europe is reopening, and the results are really important as the rest of the world will follow if they are successful. Let's take a look at how things are going 1 week into the reopening. Things not to do during a worldwide pandemic, brought to you by Bangladesh. 100,000 gather for funeral in Bangladesh, defying lockdown and sparking outbreak fears. I just wanted to show you guys this article from CNN because at a time where everyone else is trying to be super careful, and this country, by the way, has a restriction of 5 people in public gatherings. 100,000 people are gathering in the middle of the streets. Now that's just a little cuckoo. Okay, let's move on to Europe. So most countries in Europe have been waiting for a flattening of the curve, and since that has now come, a lot of the countries are reopening. On this map from CNN, the red countries are in lockdown mode, but the yellow countries are slowly and gradually reopening their countries. The two green countries, Sweden and Belarus, they never really closed down, they just kinda stayed open all along. And that actually didn't turn out that great for Sweden, as they have the highest death rate in all of Scandinavia. They actually have a death rate 4 to 6 times higher than the neighboring countries in Scandinavia, Norway, Denmark, Finland. But for the countries that did do a lockdown, but are now gradually reopening, it has actually worked very well, especially in Scandinavia. So the Prime Minister in Denmark said 2 weeks ago that they are trying to reopen the country, but they are also at the same time expecting to see an increase in cases of coronavirus. So they are accepting that reopening will cause an increase in cases. However, that turned out not to be the case, and the results have been really good, as the Prime Minister of Denmark says in this article. The results were so good that 1 week ago they were beginning to let kids back into school, and they were opening more than just grocery shops. So what these countries around Europe are all reporting is that hand sanitation and social distancing is really helping out, and that's good news for everyone. These results from Europe are really important because it gives other countries a chance to recognize patterns and see the development of the virus, which we couldn't really get from China, the epicenter of the virus, because the numbers that they released weren't really accurate, and we still don't have a good idea if China is even releasing the right numbers at all. Now, obviously, the threat isn't over, and we haven't yet beaten the virus. But these are really good numbers, and now we're beginning to see even countries like Italy and Germany reopening slowly but surely. It's really heartwarming to see a country like Italy begin to reopen slowly but surely, because Italy was hit hard in the beginning and it was kind of the epicenter of Europe, and there were a lot of tragic stories that I think a lot of us followed initially when the virus began spreading in Europe. So it's really good to see that country beginning to recover. So as countries begin to open, the governments are still very clear. This might still take a long time and we're still not safe. This is still very much in a test phase, but things are looking better. So if people follow the practices that have been laid out for all of us to follow, it does seem that there is light at the end of the tunnel. These next couple of weeks will be very important in terms of how the virus develops, and if we get the upper hand. I'll make sure to take all the news, summarize them from around the world, and bring them right here. So subscribe if you want to stay up to date, and thank you for watching.